Hey golfers, in this next video I'll be talking about bowed left wrist golf. Keep watching. Hey, it's Troy from hittingitsolid.com here. Thanks for watching. So in this video I'm talking about bowed left wrist golf. So when we're talking about bowing in the golf swing, we're talking about this would be a straight left wrist, this would be bowed, and this would be cupped. Now when I'm talking about bowing, I'm talking about bowing in the downswing, and this is a really powerful move that you've probably noticed a number of the best players in the world doing, or it's certainly become more talked about in the last so many years. Guys like Dustin Johnson, Jon Rahm, Cameron Smith, Colin Morikawa, loads of them all bowing their left or their lead wrist in the downswing. Now, what does that look like? So if I'm set up to one here, now some of these guys, they'll actually bow it at the top of their backswing. You don't have to do that, and I'm going to show you in just a moment what that looks like. But what they're doing is they're getting to the top and they're bowing it just as they start their downswing, and then they're coming through like that. Now there's been top players in the past that haven't bowed and still been able to play fantastic golf, like your Freddie Couples, your Jack Nicklaus, many others. So you don't have to bow, it just makes things a little bit easier, which I'll show you in just a moment when it comes to shallowing and squaring the club face. So those guys I spoke about, they'll be more in this position at the top here, but then they'll bow it on the downswing. So the bowing part is very common amongst the best players in the world. So if I get over one here, and basically as you go to the top of your swing, you have the choice. You can either have it fairly neutral like this, or you can have it cupped like that, or you can have a little bit bowed like that. But the important thing is that you learn to develop a little bit of bow, that turning of that lead wrist in the downswing, because that has a number of really powerful benefits. And the first one is, helps you shallow the club face. You'll see, as soon as I do that, that shaft flattens out, it shallows, making it much easier to get the club into the slot where it should pass through that right forearm and into that better impact position. Shallowing is really important for making solid contact, not just irons, driver as well. This bowing principle is the same for both iron and driver. But the huge thing is that shallowing aspect. That's the first part. Really helps you shallow a lot easier. It's not the only way to shallow, but it's certainly, I feel, one of the easiest ways through to impact. Now the other thing it does, it helps you square the club face. A lot of golfers, you might fall into this category, good at shallowing the club, but shallowing on its own is no good. If you come through with an open club face, you'll just hit blocks all day long. I've seen this happen lots and lots. So the bowing part, as we go to the top, not only does it shallow the club, but actually squares the club face. You'll see this is open. By bowing it, squares it. And as I come down, all of a sudden, I'm hitting the golf ball with a square club face. So really powerful move. Now I will add something to this bowing concept that's really important, so make sure you watch this. It works most effectively if you've got either a weak or a neutral grip. So I'll show you the strong grip option why I don't recommend bowing. If you have a weak grip, say like this, where you can sort of only see one knuckle showing as I look face onto the camera, or just maybe a neutral grip, which is something like what I prefer, I might have two knuckles showing. The bowing is highly recommended, works fantastically well. However, if you have a strong grip where the left hand for a right hander is turned more over on top, where you can see about three knuckles, that would be a very strong grip. Now, I wouldn't recommend bowing the club with a strong grip because, I'll show you, this is a strong grip. If I bow it with a really strong grip, that face, it will shut even more. you'll see I'll come down and that face is pointing out to the left. So if you have too strong a grip, the bowing won't be really effective. You'll be hitting shots left, hitting pulls all day long. So the bowing is very much recommended for either weak or neutral grips, really effective. The other advantages bowing has, it really helps you, it gives you a lot of incentive to rotate. Because that face is square, there's no hand manipulation needed through the impact zone. You've already got it square, and you can pretty much just rotate as hard as you like. Because you've got a square club face, it really encourages great rotation through impact, which you might be lacking. Maybe you're not getting enough rotation, you're getting very handsy. This is something you think you might do. The bowing aspect will really help with rotation. Really helps to keep those hands really passive. They're just not doing much through to impact. So those are really powerful benefits of bowing the club. So how do you practice this so you can really build this into your game? Well, as always, I recommend exaggerating. It's always good to exaggerate a new feel. If you're just the opposite and you're not bowing, you might be doing this with a cup left wrist on the way down and coming down steep. So if that's you, I'd recommend really exaggerating, doing slow rehearsals, really exaggerating. You want to feel like that glove logo is pointing away from you. Cupping on the way down has it pointing out this way. I want you to feel like that glove logo is more sort of behind you, and that gives you a great feel for getting through to impact. The other thing you can do to help practice this, because I find for some golfers, bowing sort of feels really uncomfortable because it's your opposite, your less dominant hand. Feel like your right wrist gets a little bit more cup. I'll show you from the other angle. Feeling like that right trail wrist gets a little bit more cupping, that will naturally help bow the lead wrist. It just has so many powerful benefits. So here's the trail wrist. When you get to the top, feel like there's more cupping in that trail wrist, naturally bows the lead, and you can come through and really hit that golf ball solid. If you think these tips will help you out, make sure you smash that like button. I really appreciate that. So the key I want you to do is really want you to practice feeling like you're getting that bowing in that lead wrist. You don't have to be in that position like a lot of the pros do at the top of your backswing. If that feels too uncomfortable for you to be bowing it there, what I'd definitely like to see you do is just bow it as you start the downswing. By all means, have that lead wrist neutral at the top, but as you start the downswing, feel like you're getting that bow, and then through. So many powerful benefits. This is a real game changer that I know will help you shoot lower scores. Now, what will also help you, I've got a video coming up that talks about the left shoulder down in the downswing. This ties in really well with this video, help you play even better golf, so make sure you watch it. It's coming up. Do you want to know how to make a better golf swing? Click and watch the video on your screen now. It's going to go into more detail about how to get the left shoulder down in the downswing, which ties in really well with this video to help you make a great golf swing. Do you want to know how to play even better golf? Consider subscribing to the channel. And remember, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know or we'll get back to you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.